Excellent. Good morning. I am using my computer for the first time today. Last time I did this, I used my phone. So I've got a little small screen. Every time I move left, it moves right. I can't see who's here if I can change this, so just bear with me. I do apologize for this. Okay, I have no idea. Good morning, Adam. If everyone could jump in and say hello. Normally I like to start immediately straight away, but I will give this 2 minutes. Adam, if you want something to do when you're down there, buddy, can you just write in a couple of quick gratitudes on what you were grateful for yesterday? And we'll see if we get any others jumping in this morning. When you jump in, please say hi. Oh, we're up to 4. Look at that. That's going fantastic. We'll give it a few more minutes. So I'll probably kick off officially and say 2 minutes from my time now. So just sort of say good morning, invite you, extend the invitation to you if you'd like to write down 1 to 3 gratitudes of what you were grateful for yesterday. That would be awesome. Can I change any of these settings in here? No. Can I make that bigger? Oh, look at that. The screen's a bit bigger now. That feels better for me. Good morning, Robin. How are you today? It's the difference in adjusting to, what can I say, adjusting from using Zoom where you can sort of see each other and interact a bit more. Also, my screen seems to be blipping quite a lot. Can you all hear me okay? So I'm going to start maybe in about 90 seconds. Make sure you've got notebook, pen, coffee. If you don't drink coffee, don't get one. Thanks for that, Robin. Excellent. Okay, thanks, Adam. So is this all good? Everyone can hear, everyone can see, looking good. If you've just jumped in, jump in and say hi. And in 1 minute time, we'll kick off. Good morning, everyone. In about 60 seconds, we're going to run through this. This Facebook Live on my computer is quite strange because when I move left, the little person moves right. For those that are there, just while I'm waiting, can you hear this through the computer? Can you write in the comment if you can hear that music playing? Hey Jessica, how are you? So I'm just going to stop the music now. Let me know if you could hear that. Oh, look at that. 7 people firing away. This is fantastic. Yep, I'm guessing that's a yep. Cool, excellent. So I'm going to start. I'm going to get into it. Normally when I do lives, I jump in straight away at the start because I know most people watch them on replay. I've written quite a few notes, but when I went for my walk this morning, I'm going to go with a different tact. So I'm trying to bring some stuff up. We're still going to cover the points. So a quick intro. I'm Brendan. I'm a health coach. I've been in the health and fitness industry for about 20 years, and I've coached thousands of people over the time. In that period of time, some of the stuff that I've come to notice or really connect with is the word connection. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about today is going to resonate back to our point, back to this point of connection. Before we get in and get started, I just want to make sure that everyone is understanding of the Happiness Co traffic light situation. You know how they've got their green, amber and red, and that a lot of this information given out today is based about giving you information on that amber and green zone to take you from doing well to really flourishing. If you are struggling, if things feel like they are getting on top of you, there is a lot of support and assistance for you through Happiness Co and other sources. And please, reach out, extend out. So let's get into it. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate the opportunity that I get to spend time with you and help you consider some concepts. So I'm going to start today with a little bit of a story. So this is in October 1997. It was a beautiful Sunday. I was studying, and during this time when I was studying, I was one of these people that was a big believer that you need pressure to make diamonds. And in that time, that means I used to put a lot of work off till later to get the time frame pressure. So I'd had a massive assignment coming up. I had timed everything beautifully well, but then I got an opportunity to be the fitness and strength and conditioning coach for a first division, local first division rugby club. So this Sunday, I go out and I'm with the rugby club all day, but because I've got this assignment pressure, this is back in 1997, my partner's at home and she is typing my assignment. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm with this rugby club. We're doing strength and conditioning. We're doing assessments. We're doing testing. And Amanda is at home working hard, typing away, doing my assignment. Now, if you know how I write, if you can see any of that, you can see that my handwriting is, I would say chicken scratchings, but they'll probably be doing a disservice to chickens. Yeah, it is quite poor. So the task that she had to take my handwritten notes and put them into a printable form would have been very challenging. So when I get back at the end of the day, she's been home all day on the Sunday. I thought, let's be nice. Let's go and get some takeaway and we'll go down to a park and we'll feed some ducks and we'll enjoy some takeaway. And as we're driving to pick up some burgers, I hear this crushing sound and she's crushing her ice cream cup that she just had, and I thought, what's going on here? So I look across and she's having a seizure. So I quickly pull the car over and I'm consoling her, and when the seizure finishes, what I've noticed is there's no signs of life. She's not breathing. She actually didn't have a seizure. At the age of 25, she had a cardiac arrest. So I quickly start doing CPR on her. It was really difficult in the car. Got her down onto the footpath. This is a period of time where no mobile phones, they were very, very rare. So I had to run to a house, leave her, run to a house, come back, try to get some support and help. It was quite tough. Did CPR on her. Eventually someone pulled over and helped. Someone managed to get the ambulance to come along. After a period of time, the ambulance got signs of life and they whisked Amanda off the hospital. It took 3 shocks for her to get any signs of life. As the ambulance goes off and the crowd disperses and everyone moves away, I'm just left standing there. I'm looking down on the ground and there's all these bits of, Band-Aid rubbish and, plastic cords and packets, and I pick all that up and I clean that away. And As I'm walking to the car, I'm just like, this is not what I expected. This is a beautiful Sunday with 25 and 26 respectively. Yeah, and my partner has just died. I've kept her alive with my breath, my energy, and my hands, and now she's off to hospital. Over that period of time, over the next 2 years, Amanda had 3 more cardiac arrests. I saved her successfully 3 times, but unfortunately not the 4th. Time is very precious. We do not know, when our time is going to be up. So I do take your time in being here very, very seriously. Now, if you do have your pen and paper, I would like to offer you the opportunity to do this activity. Yeah, I would like you to write down, and you can put some things here in the comments if you would like, of what health means to you. What is good health? So please put in some comments. If you have your pen and paper, I want you to write this down. It's the start of an activity in your own words. What is good health? What is good health to you? What does it mean to you? Let's get some comments coming up. You're welcome, Shannon. Okay, I'm just waiting for some comments. Anyone's got to write down in the comments what good health means to them. Or if you're using your pen and paper, just let me know. Cheers, Adam. So we got supporting a meaningful life. I was gonna good health, being true to one's self, believing in your choices, eating well, exercise, close relationships. Awesome, Jessica. Fueling your body with healthy food. Thanks, Robin. Awesome. Ability, movement, clarity. Really nice. So let's going to have a look at this little concept now. If you could have boundless energy, if you could have strong self-confidence, have a body with clear skin, beautiful clear eyes, healthy hair, that real radiant glow, have a digestion that isn't bloated, isn't sluggish, have energy that's strong and stable all throughout the day, recover well from injury, have no pain in movement, okay, be able to show up with great productivity, clarity, drive, enthusiasm, passion, in your relationships with yourself, with others, in your career, in your life, to have more abundant energy, drive, passion, and have a longer life, what impact would that have on you? What would be the impact if you could show up as that best version of yourself with increased energy, vitality, health? What impact would you have on the world? Same thing again. Now I just want you to do another activity. I just want you to consider that. Abundant energy, pain-free movement, clarity, passion, drive, that physical appearance, great skin, that lean, healthy body, that when you walked into the room, you exuded self-confidence, self-strength. You really got sick. You had great fitness. You showed up as the best version of yourself in all relationships, in your career. On the sporting field, you expressed your hobbies. You were pain-free. of all these things, to have that level of abundance, vitality in life, what impact would that have? What is the impact of that? Now, I just want you to quickly write down who are 3 people in your life that it's really important, yeah, that they get to see the best version of you. So in the comments, yeah, or on your notepad, if you could write down the 3 people, just 3 people. I know there could be more. 3 people that would really have the benefit of seeing the best version of you show up. Just waiting to get a couple in the comments. Okay, while they're writing, I'm going to go into this next part. So not much after when Amanda passed away, this was now in January 1999, about a year later, I wasn't happy. Yeah, something wasn't quite right. I didn't have this happiness in myself. I was feeling flat. And I go across and to where my friends were living. I was in a different part of the country at that time in New Zealand, and I'm going to let them know that I'm struggling. And as I'm building up the confidence to tell my friends that I'm struggling, you know, that there's not a joy in life at the moment. Yeah, like the hard part has gone a year ago, but you know, my heart hasn't recovered. Something's not quite right. And a very good friend of mine happened to say to me just before I was getting ready to be open and honest with my friends, he said to me, "Don't take this the wrong way. Yeah, but we're just talking about you the other day, and we're not glad, but at least all these things, you know, your father being shot, your father having a brain injury, Amanda having her cardiac arrests, yeah, etc., etc. At least those things happened to you because you were hard enough to handle it. You were strong enough to handle it. If that happened to us, we would have crumbled. So at least it happened to you because you've got the strength to handle it." And then I'm like, oh no, I can't tell them now, can I, how much I'm struggling if that's what they think of me. So I turned within. And this is where my journey of disconnection started. I started to disconnect from myself, from my feelings, okay? From who I was as a person, as a man, as a friend, as a family member. I disconnected from my environment and my feelings. And with that is when my downward spiral came. The easiest way for me to numb that disconnection was with drugs. Yeah, so I was a heavy drug user for 20 years. Okay, intravenous, opiates, meth, the lot. Okay, cost me nearly everything. But it wasn't the drugs. They had nothing to do with it. It was my disconnection. And like I said at the start of this, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent from what I wrote down. And I just really want to bring in this concept of connection. Okay. We're going to cover some topics, 6 types of hunger, why we eat, all these number of sort of topics that come up, but it always wants to come back for me to connect with you to connection, to be able to connect to your feelings. So I'm just going to extend you this possibility of this concept that when we move forward and we're looking at creating great health, and what we're going to look at is using food for thought. Yeah, to use our food to empower us to be the best version of self. Now, as we all know, I'm sure a lot of you out there have tried various different eating methods. And we know that there are so many out there in the world. Keto, targeted keto, yeah, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, yeah, South Beach, Mediterranean, man, the list goes on. They all work for some people and not for others. It's a connection to self. What food empowers you? Yeah, I've worked with vegan yogis to carnivore eating CrossFitters, and some of these people have flourished on their diets and some have suffered, yeah, because we have a disconnection from self. And when we have a disconnection from self, what we very, very often do, okay, is give away our power, give away our authority. And we go from living with an inner authority to an outer authority. Yeah. And when it comes to our health and our well-being, yeah, it is a very risky proposition when we start to outsource our authority, if we start to give our power of our choices to someone else. The other invitation I would like to extend to you now is the invitation to allow yourself, to give yourself permission to feel your emotions and to feel what's going on inside your body. Okay, I want to extend you that opportunity. So if you want, you can all say aloud with me now. I give myself permission to feel, to connect with myself, with my inner child, and to connect with who I am as a person today and where I sit with that. Just saying those words, just saying, I give myself permission to feel. I give myself permission to step up, to be the leader in my own life with my own body. Yep, is a great way for us to start a healing process, to start us moving forwards. Okay, so I know that was all a little bit deep at the start, but I'm just going to give you a quick recap on what we looked at. Time is precious, okay? We do not know when our next moment is up. Yeah? Health, abundant living, self-confidence, drive, passion, connection are all really important to move forward. Yeah, we talked about the principle of self-mastery, mastering self, and we do that through connection. And we had a look at allowing ourselves a permission to connect, a permission to allow ourselves to feel, to heal, to understand that when we start looking at our food is a medicine. Yeah, it is a tool that we can use to thrive, and a lot of us have disconnection to food. Yeah, we wake up tired, grumpy, we don't sleep well, we'll have digestive issues. Yeah, we don't have great poo all the time. Sometimes it's runny, sometimes it's hard. We have bloating, burping, energy slumps in the afternoon. Sometimes we're really reactive. We could be responsive and we fly off the handle and we're aggressive and we have short attention spans. A lot of this is driven through inflammation in food. So one thing I just want to do now is to offset a little bit of that heaviness, and we'll get into the topics. But before we do that, we're just going to do a minute of shaking. So I want everyone to get up, get into a space. Okay, I'm going to put some music on, and we're just going to go for a minute, and we're just going to just shake with the music. Okay, just really let that body go, let that energy go and move. Okay, so everyone up. I'm just got the music playing. Okay, let's start moving. Let's jump around. Close your eyes, just get into the beat. Just going to go for 1 minute. Okay, away we go. Let's move. Hands up. Hands up in there, let them shake. Keep jumping around. Hey. Okay, 30 seconds. Woo! Just feel that body. Okay, 15 seconds to go. Put the kind of bang to the table like this. Woo! Okay. And just bring it in nice and slow and just stand. Keep your eyes closed. Just stand nice and still. And just feel how that body feels. Feel that change. Feel that tingle. Just connect with the feel of the ground. Connect with how your body is feeling. Give yourself a body scan. Okay. Now bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And nice deep breath in. Breathe all the way in. And out. And again, one more big breath in. And breathe out. Okay. Well done. Now let's get into a bit of a topic. So that was a little bit of an ad-lib that I just threw in, but it was really important for me to get across this thing of this concept of connection, of self-mastery, of having an inner authority, of connecting with yourself and your feelings. Because you see, as we start to get into food, it is all to do with connection. There isn't one type. Okay? For example, is kale healthy? Maybe. Yep. Okay. For some people, it might be. For others, the high oxalate load or the oxalic acid, yep, can create calcium deposits, calcium crystals, and it can lead to inflammation and joint pain. But some people can flourish on it. Some people, it is killer kale. There is no perfect food. There is no perfect meal plan. Okay? But there will be a perfect meal plan for you. Now, I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just going to run through, but I want you to answer these in the section. Okay? Answer these as you go. Okay? Why do we eat? Why do we eat? It's mainly for two reasons. We eat for two reasons. Does anyone know what those two reasons are? One is nourishment. We eat for nourishment. What is number two? Okay, number two is for pleasure. So we eat for both nourishment and we eat for pleasure. There is, there could be, energy and pleasure. Perfect, okay? The other reason that we eat, and this is where I am a huge believer, okay? I believe most people, if they aren't where they want to be with their health or their body, it's because they are medicating calm. They are medicating a calmness away from depression, anxiety, fear through food. So a lot of us medicate calm, through our behaviors. And one of those major behaviors is eating. And that's why it's really important to give yourself, that's why I've extended you the invitation to explore the possibility, to allow yourself permission to feel and see what's going on within your body. Because first to heal, we must feel. We must connect with that feminine energy of healing and nourishment of the soul. Now, I've drawn a little chart, and anyone that's out there, you can sort of write this up. You can got 4 little squares. Okay, 4 squares, cool. And one corner, how does this work? On this side over here, okay, we got this little pyramid, okay, and on this side here, food is not tasty and not healthy. Not many people eat there. Not many people eat there. Then underneath that, we've got this section here, which is really tasty and not healthy. Yeah, and when I mean healthy, I'm talking about food that isn't honoring yourself, outcomes, and your goals. Okay? For me, that type of food that's really tasty and not healthy would be KFC. Okay? Then the next section we've got up over here is it's not tasty, but it's healthy. Okay? And I'll give you an example, and healthy is very individual, yes, I'm sure, yeah, but a lot of people, when they go on a diet plan, good morning Imogen, when they go onto a diet plan, what they might end up doing is having chicken breast, broccoli, and white rice. Yeah, of the belief it's super healthy, but it's not tasty. And a lot of us, when we move into a diet plan, we increase our nourishment, our nutritional components, but what we do is we miss the taste. So the bottom section is very tasty and very healthy. Now for us as individuals, and I see some stuff coming up here, mushrooms, I got this is where my ice cream goes, etc. Someone put kale goes really well in shakes. Okay, so for me, kale is an energy robbing food. Yep, it creates inflammation in my body and I don't like the way it tastes. For someone else, it's a energy promoting food and they love the way it tastes. There is no right or wrong. Yep, and that's why we should never outsource our inner authority to someone else, because what is good for one person isn't good for the next. So we need ourselves as individuals to allow that ability to use our intuition and our power to guide ourselves as we get in and as we move forward. So with that quick understanding is we eat for nourishment and for pleasure. We know that it's really, really important for people to be able to move through and understand that sometimes food can be not tasty, not healthy, section 1, can be really tasty, but not healthy. That's where a lot of us eat. Generally, if you find that you're in a situation where your body isn't working for you, you've got digestive issues. Yeah, females might be having a lot more sort of tougher times with their menstrual cycle than what they would be liking to. We have energy crashes. We need to wake up and have coffee first thing in the morning. We need coffee in the afternoon. When we feel flat, down, and low, we don't go for salads. We go for other energy sort of, comfort type foods. If you're doing that often, maybe your food is also one of the things driving you away from that success. Okay, so we want to be having a look at understanding that we eat for nourishment, that we eat also for pleasure. So when we're going through setting ourselves up for good habits moving forward, we want to understand that we want really healthy food for us, for our body type, for our digestion type, okay? And we also want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up well in the pleasure. Because if we try to set something up long term and there's no pleasure associated with it, the likelihood that it will stick is very slim. Okay? And these are all different for different people. There's no one size fits all. Now my notebook's just closed on me. Okay. Now, I want to have a look at, is there a right way or a wrong way to eat? Can everyone throw some comments into the comment section, please? Is there a right way or a wrong way to eat? Are there good and bad foods? So it's often the case if we believe in right and wrong and good and bad, those words, okay, there is saying out there, abracadabra. And the meaning of that word is, with my words I create, or as I say it, I create it. So if I have a vernacular or a language that's based around good and bad, when it's associated with food, then if there's a good, then there's a bad. And if I have a bad, then associated to that bad is guilt, shame, fear, self-loathing, etc. Okay, so there are no good and bad foods. Okay, some foods work with our body to honor our goals and move forward, and some don't. Okay, so some work for us and some work against, but there is no good and bad food. We want to make sure that when we're building out this, that we understand that we eat for nourishment and pleasure. We want to be driving towards pleasure. We want to understand that most of us will end up medicating calm through our behaviors. We're going to end up using food to medicate feeling. Most people out there, okay, are trying to change their state, trying to change the way they feel with their food. And there's a reason why we don't comfort eat salad. We're doing it for a number of reasons. Yeah, I have no idea why you might be doing something. Yep, I can't work that out. But through you taking ownership and connecting, and connecting with why, then you'll understand that the behavior is just a symptom of that underlying part. And that's the power of connection. Connection to your feelings and connection to your food. Now, let's get into the next little topic we want to get into here, and that's going to have a look at the 6 forms of hunger. Now, these are quite important. Now, I did talk about the emotional component before, and we will dig that up, but there are, 6 forms of hunger. It's really quite important to understand this, to see why people are getting driven towards food, and these are the 6 major reasons. Obviously, we're going to break down stress and that maybe at a different time. It's a little bit more. But hunger, number 1, you're thirsty. Okay? Hydration. One of the, there's a great book, it's called The Body's Many Cries for Water, and it explains the principle that for millions of years, when humans evolved, we didn't have these. This is a water bottle. We needed technology to be able to create this vessel so I can carry water. So for many, many years, I couldn't carry water. And the vessels that contained my water were fruits and vegetables. A lot of our hunger for a lot of us comes from hydration. We are dehydrated. Consider that as concept 1. Okay? Hunger, concept 2, is a varietal hunger. Now, variety is really, really important. Now, I don't want to get today into the nitty-gritties of phytochemicals of plants and toxic loads and mycotoxins and phytic acids and trypsin inhibitors and nightshades and oxalic acid and fructans, oligosaccharides, disaccharides, polyols, etc., etc., etc. But in plants, what plants do that animals can't to fight for themselves is they use chemicals. Now, for some of us, we have higher sensitivities to those chemicals, and if we ate them for long periods of time, we would get sick. So variety in our food is a survival mechanism, and we generally will eat food for a period of time, then it's not there, then it will disappear, and then we move to the next food source and the next food source, and that varietal change gives us an ability to offset toxic load or to offset the impact of only eating the same type of stuff. And it's one of the big things that a lot of us today, we eat a lot of variety, but we don't. So in a way, I don't want to have Italian, I had Italian last night. I want Japanese tonight. But when we go to Japanese, we eat the same thing. So variety, the need for variety is really important. It's another reason where a lot of people fall down when they make nutritional changes initially at the start because they don't have enough variety in there. And a varietal hunger is a very, very strong primitive drive. How do I know if I've got hydration hunger or varietal hunger? Connect. We need to connect. I can't tell you that. Yep, you can find these ways out through connection. Okay. Hunger type 3. Okay. Empty tummy feeling. Okay. Empty tummy feeling. Some people wake up in the morning, they have an empty tummy and they think they're starving and they need to eat. Do you? You know, most likely not. Okay. But for a lot of us, we haven't connected to that feeling. So for me, when I have an empty tummy, I feel light, powerful. I don't feel my body. I'm not feeling inflamed, and I feel really great. Yeah. Once I've connected that feeling is just an empty tummy, and I'm actually feeling loose and great in my body and fantastic, it's a way that we can set up and move forward. So we do have empty tummy feeling. That is a hunger. Hunger 4, okay, is low blood sugar. Okay, and in a way, it's a physiological response, but it still isn't a true hunger. A lot of us aren't controlling our blood sugar levels well because we are eating too high a carbohydrate diet for your individual type, or it's not mixed well. It's not always the case, yeah, because sometimes we can just go excessive period of time, particularly if we're not fat adapted. Okay, so a lot of us, as our blood sugar gets low, instead of us then flicking into our body's internal fat burning, yeah, what we're doing is then we're reaching out and we're eating a high carbohydrate sugary food, and that's crashing us down. So our blood sugar balance and support is really important. Who out there, just in the comments, writes this down? Who out there gets hangry? Who gets hangry? That most likely is a low blood sugar. When we get low blood sugar, and if we're not fat adapted, then what will happen is we get hangry. Testosterone rises, we become quite singular focused. We almost want to get into a situation where we start going hunting and we'll take adverse risks. Number 5, emotion. A lot of us emotionally eat. We are bored, dissatisfied, unhappy, anxious, depressed, and then we're going to medicate that family with food. Yeah. Now, I'm going to give you a little technique now here at the moment. When we are emotionally eat, and you can see everything I do in life comes back to connection. Be aware of what the emotion is. What emotion is coming up for you in that moment? Then we might be able to connect, and with some timeline stuff, we can go back and heal that wound. But at the moment, just comes up with what emotion am I feeling in the moment. Then I want you to consider and think about what emotion do you want to be feeling? What emotion do I want to be feeling now? Then come up with 5 ways you can create that new feeling without food. There has been a science that has shown that when we make the decision to eat the bad food, most of the good feeling we get is from making the decision, not from the food itself. And the food is secondary to that. So for a lot of us, if we feel emotional and we want to eat, is it boredom? Is it stress? Do I feel that I've let myself down? Am I still trying to numb the pain from a past wound that I haven't healed, from someone passing away, from a past love, to not feeling worthy? Yeah, connect with what that feeling is. What feeling is it? Shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, depression, boredom. Then, once you're connected to that feeling, bring up what feeling do you want? Connect with that, feel it, and then design a strategy of 5 principles and 5 ways that you can bring about that feeling. And our 6th hunger that we're going to have a look at is nutritional hunger. Okay, there is a nutritional hunger, but it's only one of the 6. So for a lot of us to help people set up to build their health and to build their relationship, we want to know what types of hunger are coming up for them, because it'll be a particular strategy that will help move you forward. So we've looked at, we eat for nourishment, we eat for pleasure. We look at the 4 crossways to look at not tasty but healthy, etc. And we want to make sure that we go to the bottom quadrant where we're having tasty and nutritious food that is healthy and honoring us, and that's individual, and that's up to us to learn to connect. And for a lot of people, where they fall down in some nutritional choices is they don't understand the power of pleasure. I'll eat like this Monday to Friday, I'll push through it, and then I'll eat nice stuff on the weekend. That is setting up for failure. We want to be enjoying all our meals all the way through. We understood the concept that a lot of us will eat to medicate a calm, and we're trying to change our emotional feeling with our food. Yeah, and I've invited you, I've extended you the invitation to explore your feelings and connect with what's coming up. Now we looked at the 6 forms of hunger. Yep. Hydration, variety, empty stomach, low blood sugar, emotional, and nutritional hunger. Now I want you to have a look at a timeline. Okay, so at one end of the timeline over here, I am starving. Here, I'm a little bit hungry. Here I have a decision to be made. Here I am satisfied. And over here at the very end, I am over full. Yep, I've overeaten. Now, one of the things that happens is we have a pendulum. Yep, and if that pendulum swings to starving and I let it go, it will automatically swing to overeating. A lot of people are ending up getting to starving point, and then this pendulum is swinging, so I can't get this the right way, is then swinging across to overeating. Yeah. So be aware of how you're going with your timeline. Are you getting to starving? If you're starving, you will be uncomfortable. It will be a form of pain. It is a form of stress. And when we get to that situation, our body will then drive us to get out of pain immediately. And it doesn't want to look long term. It makes short-term focus. Get out of pain now, look at your goal later. So if you happen to be starving and drive past the KFC, guess what? You're now in the checkout at KFC, going through the drive-through, getting some food. Your willpower won't overcome that. And the other thing I want you to have a look at, so with that timeline, yeah, if we go from starving, we'll swing to overeating. But if I go to slightly hungry, then I'll swing to satisfied. Yep, and that will be a good way that we can connect. If I haven't planned my day, I'm going to get stuck in a section in the middle, and it's my opportunity now to make a decision. And with that, very rarely we get what is called decision fatigue. And decision fatigue comes about when I have to make a choice. And we'll have this little internal dialogue where you've got your little good person on one shoulder and your person who wants to stay the same. And, oh, but Brendan, you've had a big hard day. You've had a good workout today. You deserve that burger. No, Brendan, remember what you said your goals were. You want to offset this. Oh, yeah, but, I'm feeling a bit flat and I've been quite good. I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. And normally what happens when we get to this decision fatigue situation is we'll flip-flop until either we're tired and the decision has worn us down and I'll go back to my default pattern and eat the burger, or I'll keep arguing until I find a compelling reason to keep eating the burger. So we want to offset decision fatigue, and the way that we predominantly offset decision fatigue is by by having a plan. Already having it. So now when I wake up, I know what my plan for the food is today, and I don't have to make a decision. I am into it straight away. Now let's have a quick look at the next topic. So we had a look at our timeline. Yeah, and our timeline, we went from starving, hungry, okay, decision, satisfied, and stuffed, overfull. Let's look at some nutritional deficiencies and how we can offset that and how we can use food to empower our brain. Okay. Jim Kwik, one of the world's leading experts on brain power, has his 10 foods. Google Jim Kwik's 10 foods. I've broken them into 2 sections. One section is avocados, blueberries, dark chocolates, coconut oil, walnuts, and leafy greens. Add some water, blend them, it makes a shake. Dark chocolate is higher polyphenols. Leafy greens have a lot of vitamins in them, okay? Coconut oil has medium chain triglycerides, really, really great for sustained energy. Blueberries are just like, they should be called brain berries. The power in them is amazing. Avocados has lots of great fats, okay? Great fats in avocados and coconut oil. Low sugar, high nutrient density, and whole lots of polyphenols. Yeah, that is brain power, brain food with a sustained energy. The second one, I've made a meal, okay? Salmon, organic eggs, turmeric, and broccoli. These are other pain foods. Great fats, proteins. The choline in eggs is great for our neurotransmitters in the brain. Turmeric is really anti-inflammatory. Yeah, broccoli is just a wonderful brain power food. If we eat a wide variety of foods, yeah, and we add in a lot of goodness with a lot of variety, yeah, what we do is we fill in the gaps. So nutritional deficiencies for a lot of people is quite big. They only eat like 20 different foods. Yeah, and if we only eat the same foods over and over again, the likelihood that we're going to be over in some nutrients and under in some others is quite high. So we want to be having a look at increasing brain boosting foods. Yeah, we want to look at increasing our variety of foods. Now I'm going to get into a really, I know this is going on for a long time, but I'm just going to keep going. I tried to get this done in 45 minutes. It looks like it might be an hour 15. I understand that not everyone's going to be able to stay, but it will be a recordable resource and you can come back. I'm going to look at the concept of inflammation. And then after that, I'm going to give you some hacks on how we can use our food for thought, how we can use our food to offset the 6 types of hunger, how we can use our food to work through emotion or use ways around using only just food. And we're going to look at ways that we can connect and understand that there's an individuality. And in this next section where I'm going into inflammation, this is where the individual component comes up. You are an individual. You are an amazing, beautiful person. Yeah, but you are not me. You are different to me. No one is better or worse, but we are different. Okay, and that's one thing I really want you to be able to connect with, is your individuality and your difference. I'm going to give you a little bit of science and then I'm going to get straight into it. In the very early 1900s, a researcher by the name of Byron Robinson did over 650 autopsies. And in those 650 autopsies, he noticed something that's called the entron length, which is the distance from your mouth to your anus. Yep, had a variance. The average length of your entron length is 29 feet. But for some people, it was short as 21 feet, and in other people, it was as long as 42 feet. Double distance in length. That length of entron length was directly correlated to climate. Cold climate people had short entron lengths. Hot climate people had long entron lengths. Cold climate people ate animals predominantly in winter. hot climate people ate fruits, vegetables, and more fibrous cellulosey food all throughout the year. Our digestive system is a system that rots food. That's what it does. It ferments and rots food, and we take nutrients out. Because of that, if I have a short intron length and I try to, which is more of an animal digester, a higher fat, higher protein, and I go to a high fibrous, high vegetable diet, okay, I will get bloating. I will not feel great. There's a good chance I won't tolerate the FODs very well. The nightshades and the oxalates might cause me issues. Yeah, the concept in plant embryos might give me issues. Yeah, and vice versa. If I have a longer intron length and I try to eat more ketogenic or a keto diet or a carnivore diet, and now I've got meat that digests really quickly and I put it through a long digester, it will over ferment, become stagnant, and won't go well in my body. So how do I know? Do I tolerate better proteins and fats, or am I more of a vegetable digester? There are some ways that we can have a look at it, but I just want you to understand that difference. Understand that for some people, they will thrive being a carnivore on a highly ketogenic diet. Other people, they will be smashed by that. Yeah. Some people will flourish on a vegan, vegetarian, predominantly raw diet. Other people, that will smash them. When I was vegan, I was vegetarian for 4 years, and in the middle of that, I was vegan for 2.5 years. That vegan time smashed me. Morally, I love animals. I love the planet. I'm an environmentalist at heart. Yeah. But that diet, no matter how hard I tried to make it work for me, didn't work. Okay, it is not for me. Yeah. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the vegan diet. That's not what I'm saying. So make sure you understand that. What you flourish with, you flourish with. Okay, I'm just going to go over one thing really, really quickly now. It's the concept of plant embryos. So plant embryos are predominantly seeds. They're the part of the plant that is designed to pass through an animal and be planted somewhere. Okay, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes, cereals, okay, are plant embryos. These foods for some people can be problematic. Trypsin inhibitors, phytic acid, gluten or glutens. Yeah, there are a number of things. The way that they get stored, they get grown, they get covered in glysulfates, then they get added with, stored for a long period of time, and in that storage we can get some microtoxins in forms of fungal spores that grow on them. So for a lot of people, grains, cereals, nuts, seeds, beans, legumes might be problematic, but not for everyone. Yeah. So some people will tolerate meat, some people will tolerate grains, some people will tolerate vegetables, but people who tolerate vegetables, some people won't tolerate nightshades or oxalates, or they mightn't tolerate fructan or polyol, or they mightn't like oligosaccharides or disaccharides. The list goes on. And this is where most people set themselves up for failure, because they're missing the number one step: connection to self. Sorry about that little rant, but it's really, this is a topic that's really on to me. Our food fuels our body. Our food fuels our brain. If we eat the wrong food, we won't control our blood sugars. It will make us reactive. If we don't eat the right food, it will increase inflammation, and that inflammation will make us reactive and will drive poor health. So this connection is really important to bring that in. So we want to have that understanding of connection. It's a bit of a rant, it's a bit of a lot, but here we go. Quick recap. Okay. Time is precious. Value that opportunity that you've got. Health, food, empowering yourself, will give you an opportunity to increase your self-confidence, your energy. It will help you have more of an abundant mindset, not a scarcity mindset. It will increase your energy, your drive, your creativity. It will help you show up in your relationships, your business, and your friends and your family. Overcome injury, be pain-free, and live a longer, healthier, more fun, full-packed life. Unpacked, full life. Yeah, we connected with the 3 people that was most important to see why we will have the best version of ourselves. Okay, and the people who put the notes in, of the people, the 3 people that you chose that would get the best out of you, I did notice that no one wrote down themselves. Yep, we can't pour from an empty cup. If we aren't the best version of ourselves for ourselves, if we can't prioritize ourselves as number 1, first and foremost, yeah, then we're trying to find external sources. And this might drive us then more towards emotional stuff. So it's why I understand that concept. It is not selfish to love, serve, and put self first. It is the cornerstone of health. It is a cornerstone to connect. Then we went through and looked at why we ate. We talked about there was a bit of emotion and stress. We don't want to go too deep into that, but we said it was for nourishment and pleasure. We looked at the 4 little subsections. Not tasty, not healthy. We looked at really tasty but not healthy. We looked at food being not tasty but healthy. And then we looked at the gold section that we're after, really tasty, really healthy. And we understood the concept that what is really lovely and tasty for someone is different for someone else. And that for us, that we need to have an inner authority to take control of self and not be giving our power away for someone to tell us what to do. That we will find ways to go through this, and we will connect with what works for our body and honors our goals for ourselves and connect with our flavors and our tastes. Then we had a really, really quick look at the 6 forms of hunger. We looked at it being hydration, empty tummy, low blood sugar. I can't think of the other one straight away off the top of my head. We looked at emotion, we looked at nutritional, and we looked at varietal hunger. Then we looked at our timeline and understood we went from starving, hungry, a decision to be around food. Yeah, we looked at being satisfied and stuff. Then we had a look at brain power foods that will keep our blood sugar stable, that will drive our brain. We looked at good fats, monounsaturated fats. We looked at good sources of protein. We looked at choline for neurotransmitters. We looked at a lot of polyphenols through dark chocolates and blueberries and leafy greens. We had a concept that as an individual, what food might work for you might not work for someone else. We looked at the concept of entron lengths, our digestive tract, and some people will do better on high fat, high protein. Some people will do better on more vegetable based. And we looked at some of the concepts of in foods there are chemicals and some of us don't respond well to them. We talked about the concept that there is no good or bad food. When we use terminology like good, bad, what we're doing is connecting a goodness and then a shame, a guilt, a fear. Okay, and those fears, shames, guilts that we attach to bad foods will then manifest in us not feeling great and then leading us to emotional eating. Now we're going to have a look at some hacks. So here are some hacks. Number 1, connect. Connect to your feeling. Use a daily mantra or a daily question where you start with a saying, something along the lines as, I allow myself permission to feel, to connect my food into the environment and to who I am. Yep. I extend you that invitation to connect. Connect to nature, connect to the environment, connect to yourself, connect to your relationships, and connect with your food. If you are tired, having energy slumps, if you're overweight, you've got digestive issues, runny poos, solid poos, fluctuating in between the two, burping excessively, farting, yeah, really smelly poos, etc. We got poor skin, acne, broken chipped nails. The list goes on. These are signs of our digestion and our nutrition not 100% working for us. Yeah, we want to have a shiny coat, clear skin, beautiful eyes, a nice shine to our skin. Yeah, it's a nice shiny skin. That's a 50-year-old man's hand. But when you eat well, you will have this abundant energy. Okay? So our major hacks was allow yourself to feel and connect. Understand that you're an individual and that you're going to use your power, your inner authority to go through some systems that work for you. Number one. Number two is water on waking. Yep. Also, if you feel hungry, have water and see how that makes you feel. We talked about connecting to our power foods. Cooking at home. Nearly every society, culture has ceremonies around food, has preparation techniques around food. Preparing food is a ritual. Yeah, we are a product of our habits, our routines, and our rituals. And if we have a look at humans today, we are suffering from the illness of disconnection. Our disconnection from our nature, from our environment, from our healthy food, from the way that we were designed to live. Okay? We went from tribal to kings to an agricultural period. After the agricultural period, the Industrial Revolution came in. Okay, and that separated the family unit. That pulled the men away for years and years. A great disconnection happened in that time. In the same time, in the late 1800s, around this period of time, we disconnected. We connected into the energy grid. We disconnected from Earth. Disconnected from nature. We changed our light cycles, and it's a period of time that I like to deem as the Great Disconnection. Yeah, and in that, health suffered. You'll start to see that around that period of time, the diseases that we go through have changed. Yep. The most recent great disconnection, or what I like to term as disconnection 2.0, is the disconnection of the internet. It is a powerful, positive tool, but used incorrectly in most places. And I'll put my hand up. I am guilty of negatively using the internet for a number of things, quite often creating disconnection at home, and that's my skill that I'm working on. So I'm not here to say things, but disconnection has come out a lot of stuff. Okay, so the great disconnection, as I like to call it, was the Industrial Revolution. At the same time, it connected to the grid, and disconnection 2.0 is what we're going through, is the internet disconnection, which has taken us a further disconnection from self and from relationships. So a part of that was a big rant, was all about connecting to cooking at home, to preparing your own food. Whole foods, if I get a food and I'm reading the label, that to me is a food-like product. That has been made and manufactured. Okay? Whole foods, real foods don't have labels. Okay, that's just a good way. So we're preparing whole foods at home seasonally. Yep. So we're minimizing tins, packets, bags, containers, bottles with our food, and we're eating seasonally. That's going to give us variety. It's going to keep our cost of food down, and it's going to give us a chance to eat more nutritiously dense food. This one here is a big one, and it's something that we've missed a lot, and it's something that I am guilty of as well. I was very blessed to grow up in small town New Zealand, in an area that was highly populated, was 90% Maori base. Okay, so the school that I went to at the start was bilingual, so Morena, we spoke a lot more in Māori in the school that I first went to between the age of 5 and 9. In that period of time, I realized that the Māori culture, before they hunt, before they remove a product from nature, they would say a prayer. they would give thanks and a blessing to nature for providing that food source, for that food source to give up its life for them to live. And they would do a prayer before we eat, give a gratitude, and set an intention before we eat. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza has done a lot of work on how the intention that we have when we go to eat will interact with our body in the way that we now will metabolize and absorb those nutrients from those foods. So one of my favorite things to do with a meal is to have a version of a pot of tea. Yeah, and when I sip some tea and let it sit, then I'll do a little bit of breath work and give an intention and a gratitude for that food. The breath work is powerful because if I am stressed, the sympathetic nervous system shuts down digestion. It increases impulsivity. Okay, so the power of taking some deep breaths will help put me into rest and digest, and I'll get the most out of my food. Giving gratitudes and setting an intention of thanks for my food will increase the way that my body will lovingly absorb those nutrients and help set me up and move forward. Chewing our food. If we chew our food approximately 40 times, we'll be lighter. That's what the research studies have shown. There's a big study in China that shows that if you chew your food 20 compared to 40 times, if you chew your food 40 times, you're going to be something like 12% lighter. Okay? When we chew our food, it's not what we eat quite often. Yeah? It's when we eat, how we eat. When we chew our food, we break it up and make it really small, really easy for our digestion. When we chew our food, we mix it with enzymes, and that's when a lot of the product comes, is enzymatic. Whole foods have more enzymes. Food-like products, less enzymes. We're an enzymatic process. Yep. Every enzymatic process needs nutrients to drive it. So we need high enzyme food, and we also want to have, I'm going too deep, so chew your food. Okay? Slow down. Most of us eat too fast. Another one, bit guilty, eat too fast. If we eat a meal over 20 minutes, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, our brain will be signaled that it's full, yeah, and we won't eat as much. Most of us soft down our food, we're still hungry and we eat more food again. We end up overeating because the body does not know that it is full yet because we just jam food in there. Okay, so slow down and only eat to 80% full. Okay, we talked about water on waking for the hydration. Eat more water-dense food. Okay, that works well for you. Not food. Bread is a drying food. Pasta is a drying food. Yeah, watermelon is a water-containing food. So eat food that has more water in it. We talked about seasonal eating. We talked about bringing awareness to empty tummy feeling, and that is great. We gave you a strategy for emotional eating. Remember, what was it? What emotion am I feeling? What emotion do I want to be feeling? And then how can I find 5 strategies to increase that new feeling, to bring on that new feeling without food. Then we had a look at nutrient density. So we had a look as well as varietal eating, but eating nutrient dense food. And I gave you the topic to have a look at Jim Quick's 10 food for brain power. And we also looked at avoiding inflammation. Now, if you write this down, it's ACEs, A-C-E-S. A stands for appetite. C stands for cravings. Yeah. E stands for energy, and S stands for symptoms. So, 2 hours after a meal, what's my appetite like? Do I have any cravings? Is my energy on fire? Yeah. Am I alert, powerful, creative, got great cognitive thought process? Okay, that's the C. Do I have 2 hours after a meal, I shouldn't be starving again. I shouldn't be feeling so full and jammed up as well that I'm feeling like stuck and bloated. It's a sign that I'm probably not digesting my food well. So, A, appetite. Am I starving or over full 2 hours in? C, okay, cravings. Yeah. E, energy. We want to have abundant energy, clarity, cognition. And S is symptoms. Burping, farting, bloating, digestion, brain fog, all these sort of issues coming up. Do I have any of those? And we can use those ACEs to help us connect to see what food is powering us forward. A post-walk meal, really important. Okay, the post-parietal walks are really good. We get out in nature, we get some movement, we get some sun, and help move that food through our digestive system. Really important. And then we had a look at, we didn't talk about this, but we're having a look at it now, is we're going to have a look at sleep. Okay. How do I know I'm getting good sleep? Good sleep is if you go to bed, you sleep all the way through the whole entire night without waking up, without needing to go to the toilet, and you wake up before your alarm with boundless energy. If that's not you, if you're getting to go to the toilet a couple of times, if you're waking up tired, fatigued, you need coffee to get going, you need coffee to get through the mid-afternoon slump, you are probably not getting enough sleep. Not enough sleep equals inflammation. Inflammation isn't great for the brain. It will shift you away from good food. It will pull you away from that. And it will also drive hunger. It will drive a desire to eat, because we know that when we are fatigued, we want high energy foods. So I know today was a long one. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. We did cover a lot. We covered time being important. We covered connection. We covered allowing yourself the permission to feel and connect and to use your inner authority to take charge of your life, your control, because you're an individual and you're the only one that knows what is best for you. We went in and had a look at why we eat. We looked at the forms of hunger. We looked at strategies to understand that we are individual and different, that we have, foods that can drive stability and strength. The brain is predominantly fat and water. Yep. Controlling blood sugars by lower carbohydrates, higher good fat food. We know the brain has a lot of neurotransmitters in it. So eating good protein, good sources of protein, and things like eggs, choline, and other things will really drive that good power forward, creating that stability. Yeah, we looked at ways of overcoming emotional eating by connecting to feeling. What emotion is it? Was it boredom? Was it fear? What was it? What one did we want? And we moved out. And they unpacked some strategies to overcome all of this. Food is individual. It's one of the cornerstones of life. As Hippocrates says, all disease begins in the gut. I believe on a deeper level that most of us will use our food to medicate a calm. And the way that we work out what that is through connection. I've really enjoyed bringing this to you. I did want to do a breath work and meditation to quickly finish, okay, but we're so over time. I'm just going to leave it there. It's been a real pleasure. If you know anyone that will get benefit, please share. This will be obviously on the Happiness Co. or the Happiness Aid Live site. Next week, also Wednesday morning, I'm going to do another talk. This one's going to be on structure creates freedom and understanding the power of planning to create cognitive freedom and joy in our life. Okay? Been a pleasure. I know it's been really long. I did my best. It's a good learning experience though. At least it's been rewatchable. Thank you for sharing time. It's been a pleasure.